Hello and welcome to the Legends and Lads Cricket Podcast. I am Maitreya, your host for this episode, and joining me is Tamanna Singh from the Byline. So, this episode is brought to you in collaboration with The Byline, an independent online news platform delivering credible and in depth coverage across business, finance, sports, and more. You can check them out at www.thebyline.in for insightful news and stories that keep you informed. So, this episode will be mostly a review on the Asia Cup, but predominantly focusing on the final between India and Pakistan. So, Tamanna, so please tell us about how you felt when you heard the news that this final is going to be between India and Pakistan. Because when we were doing the last episode, if I could recall, the match was going on between Bangladesh and Pakistan, and it was looking as if Bangladesh was having an upper hand. But in the end, Pakistan triumphed over them, and it was a India Pakistan final. So, your first thoughts on receiving the news that it's going to be an India Pakistan final?
Yeah, so speaking about the last time when we were recording the previous episode, the match went very close, and I think Pakistan winning that match against Bangladesh was quite a great turnover, I would say. But when we got to know, okay, so for the first time we're going to get an India versus Pakistan Asia Cup final in 41 years, I think I was keeping everything aside, I was very fueled because of all the antics Pakistan has been playing this Asia Cup. So I think there could have been no better response than beating Pakistan in the final and shutting the mouth shut for zipping it for once and all. So I think I was very fueled and I was very looking forward to it because I have full faith in my team and I knew that we are going to beat Pakistan and we're going to get this victory. So I was very fueled. What about you?
Yes, even I had similar kind of views because beating Pakistan in the final, especially after what's been going on recently, I feel was something we all as cricket fans would have really loved. So that was my first reaction. But also, there was another side of me that felt like Pakistan shouldn't have even come to the finals because they
Yeah.
shouldn't feel like the second best team in Asia because they shouldn't have even that feeling that we have come to the finals and we could have won. So they should have that kind of a feeling that we are maybe the fourth or the fifth team in the Asia. So that was one side of me, but again an India Pakistan match, so was really excited for it. And then coming to the match, yes, in the beginning, looking at Pakistan's batting in the power play, I really had a little, an iota of doubt as to what was happening because yes, Indian team is really strong, but again, the finals and the nerves of the India Pakistan match would have got the better of them in the beginning of the match. So talk about how Pakistan handled the power play because the first wicket that fell for Pakistan was at the 9.4 overs, it was 84 for 1. So till then Pakistan's innings was going at a very fast pace, and anyone watching it, I know the Indians would have really felt like what is going on, oh my god. So
Yeah.
yeah, talk about that.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, initially when the game began, with the way Pakistan started, like I was really worried because I thought it's going to be a very high scoring match. And no matter how much you have faith in your team, and we know India is the best team in the world. But like at that point, I was really nervous because I did not want this to be a high scoring match. Like I did not want this to be a match of nerves at all. So I think in the power play, the first 10 overs initially, they were 84 for one wicket. And I think that's pretty good. That was a very good start. So I was really worried. But again, I knew it's just a matter of a few wickets. Like Pakistan ka ek do wicket falls, so the entire team just crumbles. We've seen this throughout the Asia Cup. So I think the way India bounced back was commendable with all the spinners stepping up. It was commendable. But I think the start that Pakistan got, they could have really converted it into a very big total. That could have, of course, added lots of pressure on the Indian team chasing that big total. But fortunately, that did not happen. And again, it's Pakistan. So, like losing a wicket or two, they always end up losing the momentum. So, I was really happy when we got the first breakthrough in the ninth over, in the 10th over. Yeah. How are you feeling when you got to see that start? by Farhan and Fakar Zaman.
Yeah, so I had similar feelings because even my friends who were watching the match, they're in other cities. Like we came for holidays, so they called me and they were like, what is happening? Oh my god, the match looks like it's slipping away from us. But I
Yeah,
always had that one thing. I just told them if the momentum breaks, that's it for
yeah,
Pakistan because Pakistan is not like a strong team, and if that 1-2 wickets fall, I think it will be over because once India turns it towards them, I think that will be the end of Pakistan's innings. But the I was correct in some way, but I didn't expect them to get all out for 146 because after
yeah,
84 for one, I expected maybe even if many wickets fall and the momentum breaks, they can continue that run rate at least, maybe not at 10 per over, but get it to at least 6 per over and, maybe smoothly finish at maybe challenging 180 or 170 total. But 146 was like, even I didn't expect it to happen that way. But again, it's Pakistan, so expect the unexpected, I would say. And then
yeah,
there were many memes going around before the India Pakistan match about how many were predicting that Abhishek Sharma would be out in the
yeah.
very beginning of the match. So I think you would also seen those. So talk about how the Indian top order always seems to fail in the knockout matches. Do you think it's like a pressure situation? Because if you see the past 10 knockout matches that India have played, the top order seems to have failed many number of times. So the players are not the same this time, but it's the same problem every time. So how do you analyze this?
Yeah, so I think, yes, again, like Abhishek Sharma, he has played absolutely flawless in every match of the Asia Cup. But in the final, because the stakes are very high, it's the final, and it could be this was the most pressurizing game because it was against Pakistan, the amount of pressure the players feel. So Abhishek Sharma falling to that pressure, and Shubman Gill also not converting yet again. Yeah, so if we look through the last 10 matches, as you said, it does look like a pattern because I think it's always also like succumbing to the pressure, given that also. But yeah, and like we always say, ki India ka hamesha number three is the one who performs. Like it was Virat Kohli earlier, and I'm so glad like Tilak Varma stepped up for India the way he played. So yeah, and I think about Abhishek Sharma, all the memes, everything, all the jinx, everything was out there. And I was really hoping like he really gets his century in this Asia Cup, as his sister had said in an interview. But against all the odds, I'm really happy. Like despite falling very soon, Abhishek Sharma and Shubman Gill, even Surya Kumar Yadav going for a single run, I guess. Tilak Varma and Shivam Dubey, like that partnership like really saved. And especially, we didn't have Hardik Pandya in this match. So not having your senior most players around, the youngsters stepping up, all different names stepping up. So I think that's what made this final really special. But it was really tense. As a cricket fan to watch this match, like I was so nervous watching the match because beach mein it was like the last 6 overs, the required run rate was above 10. So I think it was commendable the way the middle order and the lower order pulled the game, especially Tilak Varma.
Yes, so as you have already been speaking about Tilak Varma, even I really truly appreciated his performance because seeing the match live, the whole family was sitting together, and the Indian household is always like this. We give suggestions there, sitting,
Yeah,
thinking as if we are the ones on the field, but the complete scenario is different there and here. So
yeah,
each ball was, when there's a dot ball, and one more thing that we need to observe is that the way they played it very carefully because
yeah,
after the first 3 wickets fell, there was the added pressure and the runs on the board should be there, but that does not mean that you give up wickets because as you've already said, Hardik Pandya was missing. So Tilak Varma and even Sanju Samson, I would say,
yeah,
batted to the occasion because they were some dot balls, I think 3 or 4 dot balls, and then they would compensate that with the boundary. So that is how they kept the run rate slowly, and they got the momentum. And once that momentum they got it. I think Tilak Varma just took over, and Shivam Dube also just took over and just finished the match. So
Yeah,
one observation that after the Asia Cup, was Ravi Ashwin. He said that instead of Shubman Gill, why don't you give a chance to Jaiswal as an opening pair, even though it will be a lefty-lefty combo. But
yeah,
Jaiswal has a really good track record in the internationals as well as the IPL. So before the 2026 T20 World Cup, why don't you try Abhishek Sharma and Jaiswal? Was his point of view. So what would you say on this combo? Because I believe they are trying to get in Gill because he is now the test captain and he's a ODI vice captain. So they are
yeah,
trying to get him into the T20 side so that maybe after Surya Kumar he can be the next captain. So I think that is their mindset. But
yeah.
again, we should not give up talent just because we want to push someone to the leadership spot. So do you think Jaiswal is also deserving for a place in the 11?
Yeah, I really think so because I think we have all seen Jaiswal's attacking mode, especially in the T20s, the way he has played for his franchise in the IPL and also for the Indian team in the T20 bilaterals that we've seen in the past. And I think he's a player who really who's got an aggressive mindset. But also here, as you said, they're trying to groom Shubman Gill as the next Indian captain also. That's very true. But I also feel like this is my perspective on it. Why they're really trying to make Abhishek Sharma and Shubman Gill as the opening partnership. Because I think they both also kind of balance each other out. Because Abhishek Sharma, he also has a naturally powerful intent of playing cricket. So Abhishek Sharma on one hand, and on the other side, Shubman Gill, who's comparatively a more natural sense of player. He's got the quality of shots, he's got the timing. So I think that can also be a perspective to look at. So maybe they think that this is like a perfect balance to a opening partnership. Because if you also put Abhishek Sharma and Jaiswal. So both of them are the hitters and they'll go attack from the very first ball. So I think to bring that sort of balance, you're trying to put Shubman Gill more. But again, it's not getting results. You need to try new combinations. So as you said, and as Ashwin also cited it out, for the next T20 World Cup, I really think Jaiswal should be considered because he has proved himself on the platform and he is an amazing talent, the amazing intent that we can get along with Abhishek Sharma. So if with Gill repeatedly we haven't been getting results, so I really think if before the next T20 World Cup we should really try this combination and because these two are going to be a very very dangerous pair.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And the next thing we will talk about Shivam Dube, because Shivam Dube, the last 36 games he has played for India, India
Yes.
has won all the games in the T20 format. So there is something special about him and his ability to perform in the knockout matches, because we have seen the 2023 IPL finals, the 2024 T20 World Cup finals, and now this Asia Cup finals. Those three matches have one thing in common, and that is Shivam Dube's, that clutch performance that he has given there. He has, stayed when the wickets were falling and provided he played the anchor role as well as a clutch role. He played a combined role, and I think that's what got us these three cups. So talk about how Shivam Dube is a very, I should say, the X factor in the Indian T20 setup, because the last 36 matches he played, India has won, and that is not, I think, a
Yeah.
fluke or a coincidence. So talk about Shivam Dube's vital role in the Indian team.
Yeah, I think so. Shivam Dube really fills that X factor spot, as you rightly said, because I think he's got a sense of maturity also with choosing the right type of shots. Like we saw in the last match also, how he was playing the innings, he picked up the right balls, he played the right shots. So I think that maturity is very clearly seen in him as he's played for India in the last matches also. Even in the IPL, I would say actually. Like in the IPL, you've seen him playing that role like he is naturally known to be a six hitter, right? He's a power machine. But in the IPL also in the last season, I would say CSK did have a very bad season, but there were certain games where we did see him playing according to the match, how the game is going, reading the game, understanding and analyzing the situation. So I think this is a role that we can clearly see him play for India also. And again, he is really fitting that spot for India really well. For the last match, also the way he played, the way he picked up the deliveries, and the timing he's got. So I think that has been very crucial, and that perfectly fits the spot in the 11 for him.
Yes, and then coming to Rinku Singh finishing it off. The only ball
The
he played.
only ball.
Yes,
Yeah,
so I think that was what everyone expects, because all of us want to play for the India, and that is like a fairy tale dream. And what more
yeah,
than playing the finishing runs. So that was a really great thing. And then coming to the controversial part, I would say, the Asia Cup trophy. India didn't want to take it from the hands of Mohsin Naqvi, but the most silly part is him running away with the trophy.
yeah,
There are reports coming that the trophy is not even in the possession of the Asian Cricket Council. So that is really an absurd thing. I think that hasn't happened in the history of cricket till now, or I should say any sport, because
any sport.
any team, once they win that trophy, if you give them or not, it is entitled to them. And how they want to receive it, I think it's up to them, because they have won it fair and square. So that is something that Mohsin Naqvi has not understood yet. So I don't know how at the highest level also these kind of things happen. So how did you feel when you heard the news that obviously everyone beforehand knew that India will not take the trophy from the hands of Mohsin, but the fact that him running away with the trophy is something that we didn't expect. But the Indian team, made it more of a meme fest instead of making it a more serious thing, because we have seen the Instagram posts of Surya Kumar,
Yeah,
of Deep Singh, how they photoshopped with those trophy, those
the
emojis.
emoji. Yeah.
Yes. So talk about the whole scenario, what is your perspective on this, and do you think any stricter rules should be in place so that such events do not occur in the future?
Yeah, I completely agree. We need stricter rules. And I think I recently just read also that ACC is about to sack Mohsin for that also, for whatever he did. Because again, I think these actions really speak about Pakistan a lot, because off the field, like this is so immature and this is so out of respect. Like the team has won the Asia Cup fair and square within all regulations. The team's choice to not receive the trophy from the hands of him. So after that, just leaving with the trophy, I honestly feel this is almost like a joke. Like this really felt like a joke when I read it. I was like, is this for real? Because at the highest level, who behaves like that? Like that is so immature. That is so not practical and political also. And the way Indian, as you said, like it almost it made it a meme fest. Again, speaks how Indians look at it. Like we have so much dignity, we have so much caliber. Because I also don't think any other nation other than India would have reacted with so much dignity and so much peace. Because at the end, we know the trophy is ours and it's going to find a way back to us. The trophy is going to come to India as rightfully it should. But I think Pakistan, I really don't understand what's going on with this team, with the board itself. And yeah, and I think about the stricter rules also, they are, I think, really considering to sack him because this is literally making a joke of our own country. So this is
Yes.
really ridiculous.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I felt when you are playing a tournament at that level, I believe there is some kind of with a respect that we have to behave, because respect is something that is given and taken.
Yeah,
And with such behavior, I think the only thing that is at fault here is Pakistan and their own portrayal. The how the world will perceive Pakistan cricket board is now going to change after such instances. So that is my whole perspective on this. So that will bring you to the end of this episode. Thank you, Tamanna, for joining us and having this wonderful conversation with us. And I believe this is how the Asia Cup ended, because we didn't
yes.
expect this much drama, because I felt maybe India will win, by miles ahead. But we had a very interesting final, an
Yeah.
India-Pakistan final for the first time, and I think that is what every cricket fan will wish for, because we had a very entertaining 3 weeks of time. And again, looking forward to the next step in Indian cricket. I don't know, the next series, the Test series. So, looking forward to the West Indies series, and hopefully we'll be
Yes.
back again to have a great conversation on those matches also. So thank you, Tamanna,
Yes.
once again for joining, and this will
Thank
bring me
you.
to the end of the episode.
Thank you so much for having me again over here. And I just want to say, ki, like, I'm so proud of the Indian team because going there and winning the Asia Cup with 100% win record. Like, that just makes me, as an Indian fan, so proud of the team and the achievements. And there's so much more to come. And hopefully, we'll be there to discuss the Indian cricket and its future more. And again, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really glad to be here having this conversation with you.
Yeah, thank you.